morning, everyone. I am your host, Olivia Cohen, coming in live from Studio B here at the Hebrew Home. And this is Good Morning Hebrew Home. Today is Monday, April 5th, and the time is 10:31 a.m. We have a great show planned for you today, but first, let's take a look at the weather in our neck of the woods. Today will be sunny, high 66 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. So I brought a heavy coat today, and definitely not the coat to wear for today if we're going to be at 66 degrees. So if you are able to and have a chance, definitely going outside and getting some fresh air is great for everyone. Let's move to this day in history, April 5th. We're going to go to 1933. President Franklin Roosevelt signs United States Executive Order 6102, which prohibited the hoarding of privately held gold coins and bullion in the United States. The government required holders of significant quantities of gold to sell their gold at prevailing price of $20.67 per ounce. Shortly after this forced sale, the price of gold from the Treasury for international transactions was raised to $35 an ounce. So I thought that was super interesting. Moving on to 1955, Sir Winston Churchill, the 80-year-old British leader who guided Great Britain and the Allies through the crisis of World War II, retires as Prime Minister of Great Britain. Going forward to 1987, Fox Broadcasting Company made its primetime TV debut with its first primetime shows starting on Sunday nights beginning April 5th, 1987. There was a comedy about a dysfunctional family, Married with Children, which aired for 11 seasons, a variety series, The Tracy Ullman Show, which spawned the longest-running sitcom and animated series in United States history. Can you guess which animated series that was? The Simpsons. So one of the longest-running animated series. And then moving forward to 2009, Barack Obama calls for a purge on the world's nuclear weapons. His warnings of proliferation were accompanied by the possibility of nuclear-armed terrorists. He unveiled a plan to cut stockpiles, curtail testing, and secure loose nuclear material. He says, as the only nuclear power to have used a nuclear weapon, the United States has a moral responsibility to act, he said. His speech was warmly received. Moving on to our national days. Today is Easter Monday. It's also a National Deep Dish Pizza Day. Although I'm not a fan of deep dish pizza. I know that's a big thing in Chicago, but not too much a fan. It's also National Flash Drive Day. And I have to say, I participated in this by using a flash drive to save my script for the show. So I can say I took part in that. And it's also Read a Roadmap Day, which is something I'm not great at, reading a roadmap. So I won't be participating in that. Also, I have my GPS, but it's kind of like a map, but it just tells me where to go. So those are our national days for today. We don't have any resident birthdays for today, but our staff birthdays, we have one, Joanne DeVito, our VP of Human Resources. So happy birthday. And also the person who made these lovely flowers that we have in our studio. So thank you, Joanne DeVito, and happy birthday. Our famous birthday for today, Spencer Tracy. Born Spencer Bonaventure Tracy. I like that. Born April 5th, 1900 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Spencer Tracy was known for, he was one of the actors of all time. His record of 9 Academy Award nominations for Best Actor and winning 2 Manuel Fidello in Captain's Courageous in 1937 and as Father Flanagan in Boys Town in 1938. In all, he made more than 70 movies, including Northwest Passage, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Father of the Bride, The Old Man and the Sea. Oh, I loved Father of the Bride. Both of them, actually. The Old Man and the Sea, and his final movie, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, starring Spencer Tracy, Sidney Poitier, Katharine Hepburn. He died shortly after filming and before the movie was released. Many of his best movies were made opposite his friend and sometimes lover, Katharine Hepburn. They had an on-off screen relationship for nearly 25 years until his death in 1967, including Katharine Hepburn taking 5 years away from the big screen to care for Tracy while he was in his failing health. So happy birthday to all. Let's move on and see what food service is cooking up for us. This is our non-kosher menu. We have a little outside noise, so if you guys can hear that, there's some construction going on. Hopefully it's not interrupting your feed today. Our non-kosher meals for today, we have a lunch, will be a meatloaf with mushroom gravy and peas and fresh mashed potatoes. Dessert will be a black and white cookie. And for dinner, we have mushroom barley soup. Entree will be fish croquettes with stewed tomatoes. Dessert will be pound cake. So that sounds yummy. Let's move on to our kosher meals. Lunch will be a citrus tilapia with roasted cauliflower, mushroom stuffing. Very nice. And dessert will be apricots. Dinner in our kosher meal today will be chicken soup. Entree will be roasted chicken with sauteed spinach, roasted red potatoes. I love potatoes of all kinds and roasted red potatoes. And desserts for today will be peaches. So that brings us to our positive news story for today, everybody. We have a mini episode for today. Also, I forgot to mention, normally you see me on Thursdays. I have moved to Mondays, so you don't have to adjust your screens. I will be on Mondays. Catherine will be hosting Thursdays. So we did a little switcheroo for everybody. So I will see you all every Monday. So our positive news story for today comes by way of the Good News Network. So many people have been mastering their hobbies thanks to the isolation provided by a year of pandemic living. 6 in 10 Americans say they have leveled up in one of their hobbies since lockdown began, according to a new poll. The survey of 2,000 adults found that 60% improved their skills in one or more of their hobbies since the start of COVID-19 quarantines last March. And that 56% expect to be an expert by the time life returns to normal. And that includes new hobbies too. Respondents took up an average of 3 brand new activities and cited improvements in active pastimes like running or yoga, preparing food, and making art by painting, sketching, or drawing. The survey asked people to use a standardized competency proficiency scale, I said it, to rank their previous and current skills related to any new hobbies. The typical respondent said that at the start of quarantine, they would have ranked themselves as 1, meaning they had a functional awareness or basic knowledge of the activity. And 10 months later, the typical respondent now ranked themselves as a 3, meaning they have intermediate skills. So, how do you know you've gotten better at something? Of those polled, 48% said they make fewer mistakes or can fix them more easily. 45% said they work more quickly and efficiently. And 45% said they've noticed mental improvements like better memory or focus. This was conducted by one poll on behalf of Silhouette America. Survey takers also shared some of their proudest hobby-related accomplishments over the years, such as knitting a blanket for the first time, mastering a new recipe, or holding a conversation in a foreign language. Someone said, I built a new dresser from scratch for my daughter, one respondent said. She wanted a large dresser with some designs carved into the wood to personalize it. I felt it was an accomplishment because she gave me high approval and said it's exactly what she wanted. 25% of those polled even said they've been given a prize award or money for their hobby since quarantine first began. And 40% think it's very or extremely likely that they'll be able to make money from their hobby once the quarantine is over. Mastering a new skill or craft feels empowering, said Silhouette America Marketing Officer Toshiyuki Unaki. It allows a person to take pride in what they are capable of accomplishing, which can transfer into stronger confidence in other areas of your life. When you take on learning something new, it feels like you can take on anything. Now, over half, or 57% of survey respondents, are itching to get better at something new, and 51% are inspired to try something they've previously found intimidating. Overall, the average respondent has spent $165 on their hobbies since nationwide shutdowns first began in March 2020. However, 42% also bought a tool they weren't skilled enough yet to use. More than ever before, I've realized how great it is to have a few good tools that are versatile enough to be used across my various hobbies, said crafting expert Kelly Wainment. Something like a digital cutting machine may seem intimidating at first, but the time spent learning how to use it pays off when I can use it for so many different crafts. Over half of those polled have bought new tools for their current hobby that they didn't even know existed before, including knitting looms, pom-pom makers, resin molds, yarn winders, cutting machines, and more. So here are the top 10 most approved hobbies that came from this. Doing something active like golf, running, yoga, that was 35%. Preparing food, baking and cooking, that was 34% of respondents. Making art, drawing, painting, sketching, that was 34%. Fiber arts such as knitting, embroidery, sewing, that was 28%. Playing an instrument, 28%. Speaking a language, 28%. Scrapbooking or paper craft, 23%. Model or miniature building, 21%. Photography, videography, or editing, 17%. Sculpture or pottery, 17%. So those are the hobbies from those respondents. So with group programming opening up here, such as wellness and art studio, we here at the home can make some time to get back to some of your favorite hobbies in person now together. So we look forward to seeing you all coming down to programs again. We know you've missed it so much, and we miss being there with you. So super excited for that. As always, everyone, please feel free to give us a call. Any good news you've heard and would like to share in the show, you can do so by dialing 2813. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to leave us a comment, hit that like button, or hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Remember to tune in to Channel 8 later today. We have What's the Story with Kate at 11:15, Wellness with Deborah at 1:30, and Resident Counsel at 2:30. On our stream channel, that's channel 88, we have at 3 o'clock, Dorot Presents Qigong, and at 6:30 you can catch this episode of Good Morning Hebrew Home again. That's our show for today, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Once again, this has been Olivia Cohen with Good Morning Hebrew Home. We will see you tomorrow, same time, same place, same channel. Cohen out.